The following is a fan-based discussion. All properties discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, Hasbro, and Subaru Productions.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of First Impression.
Yes, it has been a while. I've been waiting for this.
It's been a while.
Yes, we actually get to talk about...
Demonetized.
We get to talk about something good.
Ish.
I've been enjoying it a lot more.
I'm
Than the two things we just talked about.
That's different though.
Is it though?
Those are movies. They're never really that good.
Sometimes they are.
They can't all be the Forza movie. Also, these were crossover movies or promotional movies. They were dead. They were dead on arrival.
Look, at least you sort of haven't watched the Kikaider one yet.
Ah, fuck.
That's going to happen eventually.
0-1.
1.
0-1.
We can actually talk about the opening now.
Okay. Oh, because that was weird. Like the first two episodes, it didn't exist.
It was X8 all over again.
So
that disappeared for like 12 episodes for a good part of the time.
So we've watched the first 4 episodes of 0-1. By the time this video comes out, the 5th episode will be out, but we record on Saturdays, so that's a problem.
Who knows if it'll be sub, but overtime has been on it. So,
but anyway, so why don't we talk about the first episode?
Yes, you go ahead and start. What were your thoughts going into this? Because I had some, and they weren't all great.
I mean, I was not a big fan of the whole failed comedian
Oh
aspect.
my god, I cannot wait until they let that die. It is probably the worst thing in the show.
Well, what I give them credit for is that since the show has started, we are watching it slowly, I don't want to say progress, but essentially it's like the lucky effect, where he started off both barrels blazing, guns going, but then he took a Ritalin in episode 2, and then he took another Ritalin in episode 3.
But man, he did that comedy bit in episode 2 like the worst time.
But like I said, it's getting more manageable, and now when he does it, he gets a chuckle out of me. But it's not because of the joke itself.
It's because of the fact that...
It's the reactions around him.
That and the fact that she always tries to
explain
it. And she had her one joke in the sushi episode.
Oh, yeah.
That was great. But episode 1, I love the fact that we actually start off where it's just, all right, this is what's happening.
I also love how Skynet is saving the day. But
really
it's also the villain.
Yeah, because they show it as like there was a previous attempt and the town blew up because of it.
And a satellite's gonna make our driver.
Yes, the satellite will make our driver. I love the fact that there are actually some things that are mentioned over the first couple of episodes where they see that he has the other progress keys, and it's like those were files lost in the previous explosion. How does he have those? It's sort of a one-off mention line, but I love the fact that they actually put it out there. It makes it a little bit more interesting to watch. And I love the fact that once he ends up finding out that when his grandfather died, after she comes up to him and tells him that you're the new president, have fun.
Well, it started off with just your grandfather died, we have to go read his will.
Yeah.
And then I do love the vice president, who is a total ass.
Yeah, he is.
But
he's like, either he fails or he wins, but we still succeed too.
Which is hilarious, but also it's weird because I understand him a bit. Mm-hmm. He's been working for this company for God knows how long. The president died. It is his turn to step up, and now some 18-year-old snot-nosed brat gets his job. Whatever. Do you think he gives a shit if it's a 3-year difference? 4-year difference. But anyway, so then we meet our villains, our edgelords.
Metsubo Jinrai.
They're edgelords. Look at me and tell me I'm wrong.
Metsubo Jinrai.
Look at me and tell me I'm wrong.
I don't know what you mean. But we do end up
getting I don't mean that in a bad way.
No, because we're of course we're going to have to talk about it, but that part in episode 1, that was unexpected. But I love the fact that...
Are you talking about the guy with the blowing up abs?
I love it. He was great. The comedian who comes in to take over Haruto's spot at the amusement park that he was originally working at.
Let's also talk about this idea of Humagear.
Yeah.
I think this is a really interesting concept.
I love how the fact that it also goes a bit body horror-ish.
Oh, yeah.
When they get turned.
God.
And turn other people.
And... Oh, God.
It's like, who put a 3D printing machine?
But I like the idea that it's not we're creating this monster to cause mayhem. We are infecting these machines to not only cause mayhem, but it will also cause doubt into if these machines have a purpose.
I mean,
or if they're safe.
The doubt is actually already there because of the whole Daybreak Town incident.
Yeah, but like in the first episode, that really wasn't touched on as much.
Yeah, it was shown
because it was also 12 years ago. It's been 12 years since then. But then he gets the abs guy gets infected, and I love how it's literally just I'm gonna call him Gremlin because that's pretty much what he is in the show right now.
Gene.
Yeah. And he just shows up out of nowhere, smile on his face, and he puts a belt on a guy and says, "No, your purpose is to kill."
And I love the fact that we get to see the aftermath of him, like his original like standard routine with his abs blasted off, and we get to see the people laughing, but it's slowly being infected with them screaming, like. The video in his head is
his point of view of the virus that's infecting him.
Yeah, it's taking over, so it's like there's no longer laughter; it's them screaming in fear away from him. And also, I love how since he's a mantis, like he has those big eyes on his side, but they're in the shape of his abs when he was doing this on his head.
Oh, were they really?
Yeah.
I did not realize that.
That's amazing.
Hilarious. That's hilarious.
That's so good.
So he starts attacking, and then. That is when
Naruto originally didn't want to like have anything to do with any of this.
But then he realizes that people are legitimately in trouble.
And his whole thing was to make people smile and or laugh or just be happy in general. And he feels like he can do that better because he's been fired from the amusement park as 0-1.
So he takes the belt, and we see the henshin sequence, which I honestly adore.
I like it a lot.
I like the fact that it summons a giant grasshopper from space.
Yes.
Which is great. I like the simplicity of the pose where it's just the cross arm, and then he opens the card, and he says Henshin insert. Progrise is cool. And the belt doesn't talk too much. It just
jump
says...
to the side, turn into a rider kick.
Like, none of the belts talk too much. I do like...
That's the best part about
jumps to the sky, turn into a rider kick. And God, I think that's such a really nice aesthetical choice for...
Since it's a lot more simplistic. Also, I love the fact that he went full Iron Man with a tutorial at the beginning of this.
Oh God, that was so cool. That was so cool. Where the shot is fired, time slows down, and she goes, "You actually need to learn how to use this first. So we're gonna go satellite."
Yeah.
And the fact that he did it in a matter of... She's like... I think she also said, "You're gonna die in about 2.5 seconds.
However, here time is slowed down because this is just your internal time.
And so it's literally shot into his brain how to fight.
Yeah.
So he henshins, and we get our first movement look of 0-1 suit in action.
Yeah.
What do you think?
That first fight
was pretty damn great.
Was pretty great. There were some comedic moments in there which actually worked.
She's holding the sword briefcase. Here! Bitch! What? I think this was the... Actually, we haven't gotten there yet. Moving on. No, wait, we did. When she shows up, and she's like, "You're Aruto such and such, the failed comedian," and the next shot of him is just on the ground. He's like, "Well, sorry!
Thanks.
Bitch!" I thought that was funny. I laughed out loud.
There was that. The actual fighting.
The CGI needs work, but it's
Kamen Rider. I'm not surprised.
It's TV, yeah.
Yeah, there are some things in there that I really like. I love the fact that one of the human gears, one of the infected ones, because once the main human gear gets the belt put on, he can start infecting other ones and taking over the program.
That's where we get our minions for the week or for the season, which look terrifying.
They do. It's just the fact that the skin and everything breaks off, and then the thing comes down over their faces. It looks terrifying. I love it for that. And also, one of them tries to attack Jean, and that doesn't work.
Doesn't he
He's laughing.
And also, doesn't he execute him?
He has a gun.
Yeah,
like a legitimate gun. He pulls it out of his pocket. And just
motherfucker's got a Glock.
He just shoots him in the head, and I'm just like, okay.
Motherfucker's got a Glock. Which I think
what show am I watching?
So we get the blade
and Ames in the first episode.
And what?
Ames, the artificial intelligence
right.
people.
Sorry, I was thinking of AIM. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So we get to see them, and we meet our secondary rider before he gets his suit.
Yeah, Fua.
And he realizes that these guns are BB guns compared to these fuckers, and he grabs the
guns that they actually have.
The henching device for Vulcan, which is essentially just a magnum.
I mean, for both him and Valkyrie, for both Fua and.
But there was only one at the time, so.
Yeah. I do love the fact that their introduction happens very quickly with that, it sets them up.
Oh no, and we really get a good sense of their character. Mm-hmm. He is brash, impulsive, and angry as fuck. And she is calm, collected, and she wants to do things
very robotic. And I want to expand on that when we actually start talking about her a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I love
the moment where they're done fighting. He literally walks up and goes, "We need more of these."
But I do love that first fight between 01 and the monster. Like, just seeing him actually fighting and then jumping around, figuring out his powers.
The rider kick was cool.
Stopping the owner of the amusement park from getting attacked.
Mm-hmm.
And then that rider kick. One, I love the fact that they actually have the katakana on screen when he actually uses the attack itself.
I just for all of his finishers?
Yeah, I just think that's cool for all of their finishers, too. But him flying through the bus, which was a legitimate thing. It was the actual actors, it wasn't CGI. It was him, like, flipping over the bus turnstiles and everything. Mm-hmm. I just thought that was amazing. The actual rider kick and that part where he, like, punches the guy up into the air and then he just speeds up right in front of his face. It's like, I heard you talk shit. And then he kicks him in half. And trips.
And I hope you enjoyed it because it's probably going to be the only time we see a rider kick because Kamen Riders don't kick anymore.
Well, you never know what could happen.
Well, we haven't gotten one since.
I mean, it's only episode 4.
Valid. But so that was our introduction. And my thing is, I don't consider this the full introduction to this as a series.
No, but
I think I consider this more of a two-parter. We had the first episode to introduce us to the main character, and we have the second episode that introduces us pretty much to the show. To the show in general, because the second episode, which is great, we get to meet Kamen Rider Vulcan. And I believe this is the episode where they go up against the. This isn't the sushi episode, is it? Or is that episode?
No, that's episode 3.
That's episode 3.
I do like the fact that it sets up the thing where Vulcan really does not. Well, Fua does not trust Heathen Intelligence because he believes that they covered up everything that happened with Daybreak Town,
which they did
originally.
I mean, if you're right.
Originally, he was there. And I love the scene of him as a kid and all of those infected human gears outside the window.
You know what doesn't help? You know what really doesn't help? Because those prototype human gears are much more ape-looking.
Yeah.
Like they haven't evolved to the human form that we have now. Mm-hmm. So it looks much more primal and that much more terrifying.
It was like...
It's iRobot times 12.
It was like... Yeah, it was legitimately that because it was hundreds of them.
Climbing the building.
Or like outside the glass, the rest of his class was dead. Like legitimately dead. He was the only one who made it out. And just seeing him running down with all these human gears chasing behind him, and then one of them just comes up to the screen, like the actual screen of the TV, and just screams at you.
5 Nights at Freddy's shit I'm not okay with.
I was so here for it though.
So
I like how this one actually starts out a little bit darker because of that.
Yeah. Because we have this conflicting ideology with Aruto and Vulcan, mm-hmm. where Vulcan is just, I think all human gears are evil and must be destroyed, where Aruto thinks that they are kind of the future, they're humanity's dream.
Yeah, but Yaiba, on the other hand...
doesn't give a shit.
She just thinks of them as tools.
They're robots.
And I like the fact that we have those three, and then we have Jin and Horrible, who just think that...
They are the next step of evolution.
Yeah. So I love how we have these...
I love how I'm still not 100% sure whether those two are human or human gear.
No one knows.
That's my point.
I love the fact that we have so many mysteries set up and just these conflicting ideologies.
Hopefully they actually, go for it and don't just push it off to the side. But now we get Vulcan's henshin sequence and form, which I honestly adore his henshin sequence because it's just it's him to a T. Also, I love how he has to force it open
because he doesn't have approval.
But yet, apparently, if you're shonen enough, it doesn't matter.
And or angry enough, whichever one. As long as you yell.
I love how he doesn't break it, though. It's not like it can still close afterwards. He doesn't just like, well, that's awkward.
He just forces it open.
And so and I love the gun going, Kamen Rider. Kamen Rider. And then he shoots it, and he has to punch the bullet out of the air.
Everybody was talking about how they really wish Yaiba, when she did hers, would kick it, but it's not her style.
It's really not, because she's not... She's I only fight if I have to.
Yeah.
She pretty much is very efficient, and I will use whatever amount of force is needed. Now, I love Vulcan's suit. The asymmetry is great. The color scheme is cool. The wolf aspect is visible, but not overbearing.
Yeah. It makes it very interesting to actually watch him fight. And I love that finisher. Because it's like they go to Hidden Intelligence at the
What does
beginning
his
of the episode.
belt say when he's done?
I can't remember.
Fuck.
Because I remember it's like this episode, one of the policemen at the like security guard Humagears at Hidden Intelligence gets infected.
And it's a one that he like met, because there's two this episode.
Yeah.
So one attacks, and the security guard.
One was a hairdresser? No, that was the next episode.
No, yeah. So one of them, one of the security guards, risks his existence to try to save people, and Aruto, recognizes that, and he says, "We gotta patch you up," treating him like a human. But then
Jin walks in and says,
"Oh, this will be fun. I'm the ultimate troll."
And I also love how at the end of this episode, they actually showed that it was rebuilt. And then, like, the actual security guard was rebuilt, but he's, like, brand new, so he doesn't have any skills. That's actually something that they can expand more on next episode.
Yeah,
but it's the thing that happens here, too. I do love the fact that since these are robots, they can go full out and taking these things out.
Yeah.
So we get to see, like, actual robot pieces.
Aruto doesn't, because he's still kind of...
No, he does. He's the one who kicked the thing in half in the first episode.
But not all of them. Like, he was hesitant with the security guard. He was especially hesitant with the Sushi guy in the next episode. We'll get to that. But, because he does view them as people, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. But still, he recognizes that they have to be stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he still kicks things in half. It's hilarious.
By the way, the elevation increases as the bullet is fired.
No idea what that means, but I'm just like, okay.
It's cool. Fuck you.
But I love Vulcan's finisher.
Oh, yeah.
With at least his wolf form, where he just gets to shoot a whole bunch of ghost wolves at you.
Oh, no, it's fucking great.
And then it just goes to all these containers, and he thinks that 01 is a Humagear.
Oh, yeah, but I love the moment where his finisher's done and there's a hole in the wall and through all the containers, and they just stare at each other.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
and
this
then he pulls a Batman.
Yeah, then Aruto pulls a Batman, because fuck you, I'm Batman. But it's so... Like, that moment, I knew that these two characters, their conflicting ideologies, was going to hopefully be the centerpiece of this show.
And I did love the fact that a lot of Aruto's thing, I keep saying Haruto, a lot of Aruto's
nope, not him. Thank God.
ideology is just like, I'm going to be as transparent as possible with the things that are happening. So,
which, as a CEO of a Fortune 500 corporation, that's a big deal.
Because the VP was like, we shouldn't say anything about these people. It was just a rogue Humagear or something. What's happening? Aruto was just like, nope, it was MetsuboJinrai.net. If you see these people...
That moment where he walks in with the suit on, and he's like, I am President Aruto Hiden. This is who is the cause of this shit. We are going to destroy them. I'm just like, this show has begun.
Yeah,
that is what I'm saying. That is why I'm saying that the first two episodes were the introduction to the series, because...
And then they ruined it.
And then they fucking ruined it because he tried to tell a joke. But because it's still him.
Yeah, it's still him. I was just like, not the time. Not the time. Then in the next episode, we get to see Valkyrie for the first time.
Valkyrie is also amazing.
I wish she had an actual fight with a monster.
Yeah,
and I really hope that they don't just push her to the side, because she only has one confirmed upgrade with Lightning Hornet.
But you also remember, she is really not a focus character of this show.
At least not yet.
No, she seems to be more of a foil for Fua, and while Fua is a foil for Aruto. Triangles.
Also, the fact that Fua is the only one who finds Aruto's jokes funny,
which we don't get to. They don't really. That's not really a thing until episode 4.
It's still trash.
So we get to see her in combat, the speeding cheetah, and I love how when she's done, Vulcan shows up. He's like, "Who the fuck is that?" She Sheens looks at him and goes, "And that's how it's done," and just walks off like a bad bitch.
I do love her finisher though, where she like creates a giant ball of energy in the middle of all the enemies that she's fighting, and she keeps just shooting it to make it bigger or running around it. I love watching her fight though, because she uses her surroundings a lot.
It's like she reminds me of Peach from Gaim a bit.
Yeah, and that's a good thing.
No, yeah, it's a very good thing.
As long as she doesn't end up like that.
I don't know why, but the form itself is not as aesthetically.
It could be because of the orange.
Maybe I don't mind orange.
It's a creamsicle.
It might also be the triangular patterns that are throughout.
That could be it.
I understand it's supposed to be like the cheetah's spots and everything. I don't know.
I do like Lightning Hornet though, so when they get to that,
we'll talk about that.
It'll be a lot better. But speaking of which, we do have two other forms. We have his shark form and his flying falcon and
the Kong.
Kong. And I love the fact that we actually end up going to Daybreak Town, and they showed that a human gear
in episode 3 we get Shark.
Yeah, episode 3 we get Shark, and in episode 4 we get Flying Falcon and Kong. And I love the fact that although I think they set it up a little bit too heavy-handed.
I do not like the shark form.
I actually like it. I like the fact that the pieces move on the suit.
Oh yeah, you're talking about his base form, so you can still see his base form involved.
Yeah,
I get that. I honestly think it's the color. It's
like a weird teal,
and the fact I don't understand why the actual arm guards aren't that color. If that is the weapon of the form, why does it not match the color?
Because it's still part of the main suit.
I guess
it's the main suit moved down.
I guess again, if it just feels like that could have been, if it would look better if it was the same color.
I mean, I'm fine with it. I actually quite like it.
I didn't mind the Falcon form as much,
but I do think they were a little bit too heavy-handed in episode 4.
What do you mean?
With this kid is on this bus that I am also on, whose father was the one who they say unleashed everything that happens to the human gear. No, he made the executive decision after everybody apparently got out of the factory
to blow everybody up.
That was the only thing he thought that he could do
to prevent the human gear from escaping the city.
Yeah,
I didn't mind that. I get what you mean by heavy-handed because it's like, but they needed a reason to go there.
Yeah,
so they had to come up with something.
Also,
I love the fact that I love the whole bit with the tour guide lady.
Yeah,
where she has this thing of I need to know everything because that is my job.
Yeah,
and Naruto's like, I can work with that. So they go there, and then even after she's infected, her need to do her job overtook the virus, and she still projected the images and video. But but before that, we get flying feet. We get the Falcon, which I do not hate. I don't understand how it flies, but I'm okay with that.
It's
Superman.
It's a property of the suit.
I meant like from a functionality perspective.
I mean, he'll get it stolen soon, so it won't matter.
I'm just like I said. I'm just talking about like from a functionality perspective, because like typically when a Kamen Rider can fly, wings are usually involved. This one is just like I can levitate, motherfucker.
Because I'm a falcon. I'm a bird.
We don't get a finisher for this one, do we?
No, we actually don't.
Because we got Kong's finisher instead.
Yeah.
Because Kong looks amazing.
Really not a fan of the fact that the hands aren't the hands.
That's fair, but I get why they're not.
It's just when he held that gun. Yeah, man, that was small.
But the fact that the finisher shoots the fists off, is cool.
I think it's very effective. I love the fact that they actually had Naruto, because Toei has been putting out, what if he used this? And they've been looking pretty great. I've been enjoying how some of these looks. I love how Punching Kong looks on him.
Oh, that's fucking amazing.
They also got him one for Shooting Wolf, so
not as cool.
Yeah, Punching Kong. I think it's because it's like the gray and the neon.
I think it's also because it's so sleek, which you don't expect from a form like that.
Yeah, I do like Punching Kong's finisher where it tears the thing in half.
There's a lot in halves.
There are a lot of halves on here. Maybe they'll do quarters at some point. But Horobi was apparently the one who infected Daybreak Town initially, and then he comes back in this episode. Of course, he's one of the Metsuko Jinrai guys. and he has like Scorpion, and he takes like they're like, let's go ahead and take the travel agent lady or just travel agent Humagear back and see what made her overcome.
And she's immediately disintegrated.
She is by Horribly. Horribly comes in and just like, no, you don't need that though. But I like his suit. I like purple as a suit. Also, I love how the guy who said, I'm going to retire as the main Kamen Rider, a suit actor. You didn't stay wait long, did you?
I love the fact that in this episode, Aruto goes to the vice president and asks what happened, and he goes, I cannot recall. The fuck you mean you cannot recall?
The vice president obviously knows more that he's letting on.
Oh no, absolutely, because it was indeed a cover-up.
Yeah.
But I just love that it's such a bullshit answer that you know he's practiced 1,000 times.
Yep.
I cannot recall. And you can also tell that he kind of wants to tell him, but he knows that he can't because it may hurt his company. And when Aruto finds out what happened, he says, fuck it!
Also, Horribly's the second one to have a Scorpion and purple motif. After Sasor.
Good God.
Maybe he'll have a
R.I.P.
random thing in there. But yeah, I like what we have gotten so far. And that's the thing. After coming off of Zio's like first couple of episodes where I'm just like, this is sort of painful to watch. I'm happy that we're coming into this with just
a strong start.
A much stronger start. And I enjoy this.
And I do enjoy the dynamic of Vulcan actually enjoying Aruto's jokes, but he doesn't want to show it because he still hates the guy.
Yeah.
So when he does the don't sweater it joke, he has to walk away holding the smirks back.
I also like the fact that Aruto, because of his open policy, he tells him, or he shows him, Fu immediately that he is 01 after at least like another episode too.
No, it was episode 4.
Yeah.
Where they're at the beach, and the flying monster attacks, and he's like, I don't have to, I gotta go help. And she's like, your secret identity, fuck you. 01.
What's of that?
And he's just like, you.
He's like,
fuck.
Me.
Fuck, you're wearing a Humagear. That's awkward.
I tried to kill you. But I'm really enjoying what you've gotten so far. I think it's just the fact that I'm sitting here like, I'm enjoying this. And it's, of course, just coming off of Zio, which ended strongly. But that
started poorly.
But started really poorly. So I'm really hoping that this doesn't flip that and end strongly and start strongly too. And doesn't have that build-esque moment in the middle where it's just like, why is any of this happening?
Yeah. But it's a very strong start to 01. I'm looking forward to the rest of it. I just realized that Marcus's Joy-Cons are 01 colors.
They are now!
Hold on. You have to show proof. 01. Now let us know what you think about 01 in the comments below.
Yes! And probably next weekend, because I figured that Jacob will be here, we'll have him say something about it.
Yeah. But as always, follow us on all the things. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye!